Hello, I am Dr. Chanchaldeep Kaur with another interesting and learning episode of B Pharma on the important unit of carrier or vesicular based drug delivery systems. Liposomes, which is very important unit of the section of novel and controlled drug delivery systems of B Pharm 8th semester. Let's start our episode while taking a look at what we are going to learn today. Module 1 is Introduction to Carrier or Vesicular Based Drug Delivery Systems. Module 2 is Liposomes Introduction. Module 3 Types of Liposomes. Module 4 Methods of Preparation of Liposomes. Module 5 Evaluations of Liposomes. And Module 6 Applications of Liposomes. Module 7 is Conclusion. Module 1 Introduction to Carrier or Vesicular Based Drug Delivery Systems. Carrier or vesicular based drug delivery systems. Vesicles are water filled colloidal particles. The walls of these capsules consist of amphiphilic molecules in a bilayer conformation. In an excess of water, these amphiphilic molecules can form one unilamellar vesicles or more, that is multilamellar vesicles, concentric bilayers. Hydrophilic drugs can be entrapped into the internal aqueous compartment, whereas amphiphilic, lipophilic and charged hydrophilic drugs can be associated with the vesicle bilayer by hydrophobic and or electrostatic interactions. Encapsulation of a drug in vesicular structures can be predicted to prolong the existence of the drug in systemic circulation and perhaps reduces the toxicity if selective uptake can be achieved. The composition of the vesicles influences their physicochemical characteristics such as size, charge, thermodynamic phase, lamellarity and bilayer elasticity. Most commonly used materials for the formation of vesicles are phospholipids, cholesterol and non-ionic surfactants. Advantages of vesicular systems as drug carrier are as below. First, increases bioavailability and biocompatibility of the drugs. Second, the toxicity is reduced. Third, they can trap both hydrophobic and hydrophilic compounds, avoid decomposition of the entrapped combinations and release the entrapped at designated targets. Fourth, controlled drug delivery rate and extent could be produced. Fifth, act as a depot formation for sustained release of drug. Sixth, increased permeation of drugs through the skin. And seventh, penetration enhancer because of their unique composition, etc. Table 1 shows the composition of few vesicular systems. Like first is liposomes. It has phospholipids, natural or synthetic. Second, niosomes. It has non-ionic surfactants and lipids. Third, ethosomes. They are phospholipids having ethanol. Fourth, transferosomes. They have phospholipids plus single chain surfactants. So, these were few vesicular systems with their changes in composition. Dear students, till now we have seen that there are various types of vesicular drug delivery systems. Now we will discuss one by one these systems. First, we will study about liposomes. Module 2 Liposomes. Introduction. A liposome is a spherical vesicle having at least one lipid bilayer. The liposome can be used as a vehicle for administration of nutrients and pharmaceutical drugs. Liposomes can be prepared by disrupting biological membranes such as by sonication. Liposomes are most often composed of phospholipids, especially phosphatidylcholine, but may also include other lipids such as egg phosphatidylethanolamin, so long as they are compatible with lipid bilayer structure. Liposomes can be composed of naturally derived phospholipids with mixed lipid chain like egg phosphatidylethanolamin, or of pure components like DOPE, which is diolenyl phosphatidylethanolamine, and cholesterol. A liposome design may employ surface ligands for attaching to unhealthy tissue. Liposomes can be characterized for its surface morphology, surface charge, size distribution, lamellarity, entrapped volume, and stability. Now we will see the advantages. Some of the advantages of liposomes are as follows: increased stability via encapsulation, site avoidance effect. Liposomes reduce the toxicity of the encapsulated agents, example amphotericin B, Taxol. Improved pharmacokinetic effects like reduced elimination, increased circulation lifetimes, flexibility to couple with site-specific ligands to achieve active targeting, biocompatibility, non-toxicity, and flexibility, protection from the inactivating effect of external conditions. Liposomes are completely biodegradable and non-immunogenic for systemic and non-systemic administrations. Unique ability to deliver the pharmaceutical agents into cells or even inside individual cellular compartments. Provides selective passive targeting to tumor tissues. Liposomal doxorubicin is the example. Liposomes increased efficacy and therapeutic index of drug like actinomycin D. Liposomes help to reduce the exposure of sensitive tissues to toxic drugs. Now we will see the limitations. High production cost, short half-life, low solubility. Sometimes phospholipid undergoes oxidation and hydrolysis like reaction. Leakage and fusion of encapsulated drug or molecules. Site avoidance effect, fewer stables. Module 3. Types of liposomes. The major types of liposomes, or we can say classification of liposomes based on structure parameters. Multilamellar large vesicles in which the size is more than 0.5 micrometer. It is also known as MLV, with several lamellar phase lipid bilayers. Oligolamellar vesicles, the size is 0.1 to 1 micrometer. Unilamellar vesicles, they are in all size ranges. Then first is small unilamellar vesicles in which the size is between 20 to 100 nanometer. Second, medium size unilamellar vesicles. Third, large unilamellar vesicles in which the size is more than 100 nanometer. Fourth, giant unilamellar vesicles in which the size is more than 1 micrometer. Fourth one is multivesicular vesicles in which the size is more than 1 micrometer range. The figure shows the structure of liposomes, in which we can clearly see that the phospholipid molecule, it has a water soluble end and oil soluble or oil like end, in which we incorporate water and a phospholipid bilayer is produced, which forms liposome. Now comes classification of liposomes based on composition and mechanism of intracellular delivery. Conventional liposomes, pH sensitive liposomes, cationic liposomes, immunoliposomes, long circulating liposomes, fusogenic liposomes. Next section is the most important part. We will discuss various techniques for the preparation of liposomes. Module 4, Methods of Preparation of Liposomes. All the methods of preparing the liposomes involve 4 basic stages. First, drying down lipids from organic solvent. Second, dispersing the lipid in aqueous media. Third, purifying the resultant liposome. Fourth, analyzing the final product. Now we will discuss the method of liposome preparation and drug loading. The following methods are used for the preparation of liposome. First is passive loading techniques and second is active loading techniques. In passive loading techniques, it includes 3 different methods. First, mechanical dispersion method, second, solvent dispersion method, and third is detergent removal method, in which there is removal of non-encapsulated material. The figure summarizes the methods of preparation of liposomes. We can see that the methods of preparation of liposomes are broadly classified into 3 types, that is mechanical dispersion method, solvent dispersion method and detergent removal method. The mechanical dispersion method constitutes sonication, French pressure cell extrusion, freeze-thawed liposomes, lipid film hydration, microemulsification, membrane extrusion and dried reconstituted vesicles. Second is solvent dispersion method, in which there are ether injection method, ethanol injection, reverse phase evaporation and stable plurilamellar. Next is detergent removal method, detergent removal from mixed micelles. Now we will discuss mechanical dispersion method. The following are types of mechanical dispersion methods. First method is sonication. Sonication is widely used method for the preparation of SUV. Here MLVs are sonicated either with a bath type sonicator or a probe sonicator under a passive atmosphere. The main disadvantages of this method are very low internal volume or encapsulation efficacy, possible degradation of phospholipids and compounds to be encapsulated, elimination of large molecules, metal pollution from probe tip and presence of MLV along with SUV. The figure shows mechanical dispersion method, in which we could see that initially we take in a round bottom flask the lipids along with the organic solvents. They are taken in the rotary evaporator and then a fine film is produced in the flask. After that, the hydration of the film is done with the help of phosphate buffer solution or any solvent by which the hydration has to be done according to the method prescribed. After that, the size of the vesicles is reduced using ultrasonication method and then the desired liposomes are produced. There are 2 sonication techniques. First, probe sonication. The tip of a sonicator is directly engrossed into the liposome dispersion. The energy into lipid dispersion is very high in this method. The coupling of energy at the tip results in local hotness. Therefore, the vessel must be engrossed into a water or ice bath. Throughout the sonication up to 1 hour, more than 5% of the lipids can be de-esterified. Also with the probe sonicator, titanium will slough off and pollute the solution. Second one is bath sonication type. The liposome dispersion in a cylinder is placed into a bath sonicator. Controlling the temperature of the lipid dispersion is usually easier in this method, in contrast to the sonication by dispersal directly using the tip. The material being sonicated can be protected in a sterile vessel, dissimilar the probe units, or under an inert atmosphere. French pressure cell extrusion. French pressure cell involves the extrusion of MLV through a small orifice. An important feature of the French press vesicle method is that the proteins do not seem to be significantly pretentious during the procedure as they are in sonication. An interesting comment is that French press vesicle appears to recall entrapped solutes significantly longer than SUVs do, produced by sonication or detergent removal. The method involves gentle handling of unstable materials. The method has several advantages over sonication method. The resulting liposomes are rather larger than sonicated SUVs. The drawbacks of the method are that the high temperature is difficult to attain and the working volumes are comparatively small, about 50 ml as the maximum. Freeze-thawed liposomes. SUVs are rapidly frozen and thawed slowly. The short-lived sonication disperses aggregated materials to LUV. The creation of unilamellar vesicles is as a result of the fusion of SUV throughout the processes of freezing and thawing. This type of synthesis is strongly inhibited by increasing the phospholipid concentration and by increasing the ionic strength of the medium. The encapsulation efficacies from 20% to 30% were obtained. Then comes preparation of lipid by hydration. When preparing liposomes with mixed lipid composition, the lipids must first be dissolved and mixed in an organic solvent to assure a homogeneous mixture of lipids. Usually this process is carried out using chloroform or chloroform and methanol mixtures. The intent is to obtain a clear lipid solution for complete mixing of lipids. Typically, lipid solutions are prepared at 10 to 20 mg lipid per ml of organic solvent, although higher concentrations may be used if the lipid solubility and mixing are acceptable. Once the lipids are thoroughly mixed in the organic solvent, the solvent is removed to yield a lipid film. For small volumes and organic solvent less than 1 ml, the solvent may be evaporated using a dry nitrogen or argon stream in a fume hood. For larger volumes, the organic solvent should be removed by rotary evaporation, yielding a thin lipid film on the sides of a round bottom flask. The lipid film is thoroughly dried to remove a residual organic solvent by placing the vial or flask on a vacuum pump overnight. If the use of chloroform is objectionable, an alternative is to dissolve the lipids in tertiary butanol or cyclohexane. The lipid solution is transferred to containers and frozen by placing the containers on a block of dry ice or swirling the container in a dry ice acetone or alcohol like ethanol or methanol bath. Care should be taken when using the bath procedure that the container can withstand sudden temperature changes without cracking. After freezing completely, the frozen lipid cake is placed on a vacuum pump and lyophilized until dry, 1 to 3 days depending on the volume. The thickness of the lipid cake should not be more than the diameter of the container being used for lyophilization. Dry lipid films or cakes can be removed from the vacuum pump. The container should be closed tightly and tapped and stored frozen until ready to hydrate. Hydration of lipid film or cake. Hydration of the dry lipid film or cake is accomplished simply by adding an aqueous medium to the container of dry lipid and agitating. The temperature of the hydrating medium should be above the gel liquid crystal transition temperature, which is Tc or Tm of the lipid. After addition of the hydrating medium, the lipid suspension should be maintained above the Tc during the hydration period. For high transition lipids, this is easily accomplished by transferring the lipid suspension to a round bottom flask and placing the flask on a rotary evaporation system without a vacuum. Spinning the round bottom flask in the warm water bath maintained at a temperature above the Tc of the lipid suspension allows the lipid to hydrate in its fluid phase with adequate agitation. Hydration time may differ slightly among lipid species and structure. However, a hydration time of 1 hour with vigorous shaking, mixing or stirring is highly recommended. It is also believed that allowing the vesicle suspension to stand overnight, aging prior to downsizing makes the sizing process easier and improves the homogeneity of the size distribution. Aging is not recommended for high transition lipids as lipid hydrolysis increases with elevated temperatures. The hydration medium is generally determined by the application of the lipid vesicles. Suitable hydration media include distilled water, buffer solutions, saline and non-electrolytes such as sugar solutions. Generally accepted solutions which meet these conditions are 0.9% saline, 5% dextrose and 10% sucrose. During hydration, some lipids form complexes unique to their structure. Highly charged lipids have been observed to form a viscous gel when hydrated with low ionic strength solutions. The problem can be alleviated by addition of salt or by downsizing the lipid suspension. As particles approach one another, there is no hydration repulsion to repel the approaching particle and the two membranes fall into an energy level where they adhere and form aggregates. The aggregates settle out of a solution as large flocculates which will disperse on agitation but reform upon sitting. The product of hydration is a large multilamellar vesicle LMV analogous in structure to an anion with each lipid bilayer separated by a water layer. The spacing between lipid layers is dictated by composition with polyhydrating layers being closer together than highly charged layers which separates on electrostatic repulsion. Once a stable hydrated LMV suspension has been produced, the particles can be downsized by a variety of techniques including sonication or extrusion. Solvent dispersion method. First is ether injection, which is also known as solvent vaporization method. A solution of lipids dissolved in diethyl ether or ether methanol mixture is gradually injected to an aqueous solution of the material to be encapsulated at 55 degrees Celsius to 65 degrees Celsius or under reduced pressure. The consequent removal of ether under vacuum leads to the creation of liposomes. The main disadvantages of the technique are that the population is heterogeneous 70 to 200 nanometer and the exposure of compounds to be encapsulated to organic solvents at high temperature. Next is ethanol injection. A lipid solution of ethanol is rapidly injected to a huge excess of buffer. The MLVs are at once formed. The disadvantages of the method are that the population is heterogeneous, 30 to 110 nanometer. Liposomes are very dilute. The removal of ethanol is difficult because it forms into azeotrope with water, and probability of the various biologically active macromolecules to inactivate in the presence of even low amounts of ethanol is high. Next is reverse phase evaporation method. This method provided a progress in liposome technology, since it allowed for the first time the preparation of liposomes with a high aqueous space to lipid ratio and a capability to entrap a large percentage of the aqueous material presented. Reverse phase evaporation is based on the creation of inverted micelles. These inverted micelles are shaped upon sonication of a mixture of a buffered aqueous phase which contains the water soluble molecules to be encapsulated into the liposomes, and an organic phase in which the amphiphilic molecules are solubilized. The slow elimination of the organic solvent leads to the conversion of these inverted micelles into viscous state and gel form. At a critical point in this process, the gel state collapses and some of the inverted micelles were disturbed. The excess of phospholipids in the environment donates to the formation of a complete bilayer around the residual micelles, which results in the creation of liposomes. Liposomes made by reverse phase evaporation method can be made from numerous lipid formulations and have aqueous volume to lipid ratios that are 4 times higher than hand shaken liposomes or multilamellar liposomes. Briefly, first the water in oil emulsion is shaped by brief sonication of a two-phase system containing phospholipids in organic solvent such as isopropyl ether or diethyl ether or a mixture of isopropyl ether and chloroform with aqueous buffer. The organic solvents are detached under reduced pressure, resulting in the creation of a viscous gel. The liposomes are shaped when residual solvent is detached during continued rotary evaporation under reduced pressure. With this method, high encapsulation efficiency up to 65% can be obtained in a medium of low ionic strength, for example 0.01 m sodium chloride. The method has been used to encapsulate small, large and macromolecules. The main drawback of the technique is the contact of the materials to be encapsulated to organic solvents and to brief periods of sonication. These conditions may possibly result in the breakage of DNA strands or the denaturation of some proteins. Next method is detergent removal method, in which there is removal of non-encapsulated material. Dialysis, the detergent at their critical micelle concentrations, that is CMC, have been used to solubilize lipids. As the detergent is detached, the micelles become increasingly better off in phospholipid and lastly combine to form LUVs. The detergents were removed by dialysis. A commercial device called LipoPrep, which is a version of dialysis system, is obtained for the elimination of detergents. The dialysis can be performed in dialysis bags engrossed in large detergent free buffers. Equilibrium dialysis. Detergent cholate, alkyl glycoside, Triton X100, removal of mixed micelles, that is absorption. Detergent absorption is attained by shaking mixed micelle solution with beaded organic polystyrene adsorbers such as XAD2 beads and BioBeads SM2. The great benefit of using detergent adsorbers is that they can eliminate detergents with a very low CMC which are not entirely depleted. Gel permeation chromatography. In this method, the detergent is depleted by size special chromatography. Cefadex G50, Cefadex G100, Cefadrose 2B, 6B and Cefacryl S200 to S1000 can be used for gel filtration. The liposomes do not penetrate into the pores of the beads packed in a column. They percolate through the interbead spaces. At slow flow rates, the separation of liposomes from detergent monomers is very good. The swollen polysaccharide beads adsorb substantial amounts of amphiphilic lipids. Therefore, pre-treatment is necessary. The pre-treatment is done by pre-saturation of the gel filtration column by lipids using empty liposome suspensions. Dilution. Upon dilution of aqueous mixed micellar solution of detergent and phospholipids with buffer, the micellar size and the polydispersity increase fundamentally, and as the system is diluted beyond the mixed micellar phase boundary, a spontaneous transition from polydispersed micelles to vesicles occurs. Module 5, Evaluations of liposomes. First is size distribution. Prepared liposomal batches are monitored morphologically using optical microscope. Mean vesicle size and size distribution profile of liposome can be determined using particle size analyzer. Next is entrapment efficiency. Drug associated with liposome is separated from unentrapped drug using centrifugation method. Liposomes are centrifuged at 20,000 rpm for 1 hour at controlled temperature of 4 degrees Celsius. Supernatant containing unentrapped drug can be withdrawn and measured by UV spectrophotometrically against phosphate buffer saline pH 7.4. The amount of drug entrapped in liposome was determined as follows using equation EE, that is entrapment efficiency percentage, is equal to CD minus CF upon CD into 100, where CD is concentration detected and total drug and CF is concentration of free drug. The entrapment efficiency was obtained by repeating the experiment in triplicate, and the values are expressed as mean standard deviation. Next is zeta potential determination, which is denoted by Z. Charge on empty and drug loaded vesicles surface could be determined using zeta sizer. Analysis time is kept for 60 seconds and average zeta potential and charge on the liposome is determined. Skin permeation and drug deposition studies. Animal is sacrificed by exposing to anesthetic, and then the skin and hair is removed and washed with water. Skin is excised, fatty layer is removed, treated and made ready for permeation studies. Fresh skin is used every time. Skin permeation studies with drug containing liposome formulations are carried out using abdominal rat skin, employing modified France diffusion cells. The results obtained are compared with that of non-liposomal formulations of drug. The skin is prepared by mounting on the receptor chamber with cross-sectional area of 3.91 cm square exposed to the receptor compartment. The receptor compartment is filled with 22 ml phosphate buffer pH 7.4. It is jacketed to maintain the temperature of 37 plus minus 0.5 degrees Celsius and is kept stirring at 50 rpm. Prior to application of formulations, the skin is allowed to equilibrate at this condition for 1 hour. Liposomal or non-liposomal formulation amount equivalent to 5 mg of drug is applied uniformly on the dorsal side of the skin. Aliquots of 2 ml are withdrawn periodically and replaced with same amount of saline solution to maintain the receptor face volume at a constant level. The samples are quantified spectrophotometrically. For determination of drug deposited in skin, cell is dismantled after a period of 8 hours and the skin is carefully removed from the cell. The formulation applied on skin surface is swabbed first with phosphate buffer pH 7.4 and then with methanol. The procedure is repeated twice to ensure no traces of formulation are left onto skin surface. The skin is then cut into small pieces and drug present in skin is extracted in phosphate buffer pH 7.4. The rheological studies. While considering the stable liposome dispersion or any other delivery system, they usually need to be incorporated into convenient dosage form to obtain formulation with desired semi-solid consistency for ease in topical and transdermal application. It is important and controls the flow properties to ensure product quality and effectiveness of the production. It helps in selection of dermatological formulation that will progress to clinical efficacy. Rheological analysis of liposome loaded semi-solids is performed using a stress controlled rheometer. Equipped with Stress Rheologic Basic Software version 5 using cone plated geometry with a diameter of the cone being 25 mm and a cone angle of 10, operating in the oscillation and static mode. Rheological analysis is performed at room temperature. Drug content and content uniformity. The gel or cream sample about 100 mg is withdrawn and drug content is determined using UV spectrophotometer. Similarly, the content uniformity is determined by analyzing drug concentration in gel or cream taken from 3 to 4 different points from the container. In case of liposomal gel, it was shaken with sufficient quantity of methanol to extract the drug and then analyzed by using UV spectrophotometer. Stability studies. The ability of vesicles to retain the drug, that is, drug retentive behavior, is assessed by keeping the liposomal suspensions and liposomal gel at two different temperature conditions, that is 4 to 8 degrees Celsius, refrigerator RF, or 25 plus minus 2 degrees Celsius, that is room temperature, which is denoted by RT, for a period of 60 days. Samples are withdrawn periodically and analyzed for the drug content and particle size for liposomal suspension and drug deposition for liposomal gel in the manner described under entrapment efficiency and particle size distribution studies. Module 6. Applications of liposomes. Liposomes are used as a carrier in immunology, vaccine adjuvant, eye disorders, brain targeting, infective diseases, tumor therapy, topical drug delivery system, as they can improve the drug deposition within the skin at the site of action, where the goal is to reduce systemic absorption and thus minimize side effects and increases the patient compliance. Module 7 Conclusion. With all these information, here we come to end of today's lecture. Hope we have understood vesicular based drug delivery systems. Today we have discussed in detail about liposomes. Further have a look again on the complete topic yourself so that you are thorough with it. The topic that we have discussed today is very simple and interesting. So dear students, this is Dr. Chanchal taking leave from you with the hope that you enjoyed and understood today's lecture. We will continue in our next lecture with the topic Sniosomes. If you want to learn more and enhance your knowledge, you may log on to our website for MCQ, quizzes, LORs, www.cec.in